Bear with me as I work my way through this. Black trauma, or speaking about black trauma as someone who is currently experiencing trauma, is highly difficult to discuss. Anyone who experiences trauma understands that and knows that as well. But I still find it important to share my thoughts and my insight with others. I'm an educator. I've been an educator my whole life, and part of me doesn't want to miss an opportunity to hopefully have a chance to educate somebody. Someone might be listening to this conversation and might find it insightful, might find it helpful, meaningful, or for someone else it might be consolation in knowing that they're not alone in the prison of their own mind. And I know that that can be a very lonely and hurtful place to be. And for a small few, you might have checked out by now because black trauma is something that is as easy to overlook as stories on Instagram. And at some point in time, I hope that something that I say or someone else says or does can help change your perspective or your mindset on that. But for those who are listening and those that are tuned in, thank you. Hopefully something that I say resonates with you. All the opinions I share are my own. I don't want to speak for anybody but myself. Just as someone who was watching things unfold around him just like everybody else, I'm not just going to talk about what caused the reactions, but the responses to what has been happening as well. You know, I'm a big movie lover, and I identify with the bad guys sometimes. One of my favorite bad guys is Bane. And there have been some things that are happening right now that I really would describe as theatrical. And people are really trying to pull the wool over our eyes and have us think that they're fooling us. But there's a lot of us out there that are a lot smarter than you give us credit for. So when we see that, how you move, we're gonna look at you like Bane looked at Batman, and he's gonna tell you, oh, theatricality and deception are powerful agents to the uninitiated. But we are initiated, aren't we? Yeah, we read, we watch the news, we pay attention, we learn, we know what's going on. So you can't tell us that this is new, or you didn't know about what was going on, or you're gonna appease us by telling us that this is progress when it's really not. There's been a lot of information out there that we know is not really brand new. You're gonna pretend it's new. You're gonna repackage it as something you're delivering to us and saying you're helping us, and you're really not. You're just repackaging something that's already been given to us. And sometimes people mean well, and I don't wanna knock anybody who's trying to meet us halfway or is trying to do the right thing. I'm not talking about that. What I'm saying is that there are people who are really trying to pretend like the blueprint wasn't already printed for us and you're just giving it to us. You know, everyone is so shocked and appalled right now that there seems to be two societies in our country right now. And is racism really that bad? And wow. Or everybody's posting Chris Cuomo's outro on his show the other night, and I love Chris Cuomo. Yo, shout out to him. I think he's great at what he does, and that man uses his platform as well as anybody that I know, and he strikes me as somebody who's an ally. He was talking about a tale of two cities, and he was talking about two sides of things, and it seems so insightful. But those who are aware, this book called The Other America was printed in 1962 by a man named Michael Harrington, an Irish Catholic who was very outspoken about the black community and what was going on in the country at his time, and talked about how there are two Americas in this country. His book was impactful enough that 2 US presidents used that as a guideline to fight the war on poverty in the country. JFK and Lyndon B. Johnson, I believe. But at that time, even someone like him was on the FBI index because he was considered a threat to national security. Now, why would a man like that be considered a threat to national security? Because he was speaking out against things that impacted black people. That's not new. They've been to Americas for a long, 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 long time. In his book, he talked about the two societies and how even a middle class group was forced to pick a side because they didn't really fit in the middle. You were either on one side or the other. So you had a middle class that thought they were all right until they found out, like, nah, you just like them, you're going over there. It's the haves and the have-nots. There's no middle ground there. And for too long, black people have been the have-nots. So when you tell us that there's been progress made, for those that know better, we see it as theatricality and deception. It may be unintentional, but you can't repackage a gift that I've already gotten and tell me that it's new. It's not new. So I want people to understand that. There's another book that I love. I was reminded of it recently when I see people saying, you know, what good does it mean when somebody says, I see you? And what people don't understand is that 10 years before Harrison was Ralph Waldo Ellison. He wrote the book called Invisible Man, 1952. And he talked about a black man, educated, in America, college degree, was trying to find his way in society to become successful and couldn't do it because his white supposed peers did not see him as such. He was less than. He was not human. He was invisible. So when someone says, I see you, that means that they're recognizing that you are equal and you matter to them. I'm not saying that someone that says, I see you, can leave it at that. There should be more that comes from that. Sure. Follow up. Do something. Be more outspoken. Tell me you love me. Totally fine. I appreciate it. But challenge your friends in your settings when I'm not there and speak for me when I'm not at the table. That's how you're going to prove to me that you really, really do see me. But I'm not going to invalidate you because you see me. Because again, for too long, we weren't seen. We weren't seen for who we were, what we bring to the table. So for those who are black people, I see you. But we always see each other. But when others see you, accept that. But if you want to, take it that one step further and say, you know what? I'm glad you see me. But do your friends see me? Do your peers see me? How can you help your peers see me too? Take it there. I know some are also upset about the silence of others. And I know that everyone wants someone to speak out, which is true to a degree. But as an educator, I feel that sometimes silence is better than saying something for the sake of saying something. Because there are some people who are still trying to find their words, who are still trying to find their way, and I would rather they do that than say something that's going to make the situation worse. So if you're trying to help, cool. If you're being silent, hopefully you're not silent for too long, but at least reassure some of your friends that you see them, that you hear them, and that you're trying to find out a way to help. And it's okay to ask for help. How can I help you? What can I do? It's okay to humble yourself in that way. Don't take it personally when you start to ask for feedback and your black friends tell you what they think. I value some of my non-black friends because they've asked me for my opinion honestly, and I've told them, and they've been very respectful in receiving that, and we've had great dialogue. But it can't just end there. There has to be more than that. Being in isolation, being somebody who likes to be around people, it's been difficult to have only technology to connect with others, particularly at a time like this when you want to be around others and share your grief and your pain and have people who empathize with you, and that misery that's brought you together for so long, it kind of gives you a little consolation and strength. What I want people to understand that have not experienced or lived through Black trauma is to know that Black trauma is real, and you may not see its face, you may not see its impact directly, but you have to know that there are people that are suffering in silence or suffering right in front of your face without you recognizing that. And I'm no different than that. For a majority of the time, I spend it in isolation, so even people close to me don't know all of what I do when I'm by myself, and they don't see the responses and the reactions or the tears that I shed in the privacy of my own space, and try and gather my thoughts before I let anybody know that I've had that breakdown of those thoughts. And that's kind of what got me here today. You know, listening to a good friend of mine and my cousin in a prayer session. They talked about the struggle and finding a way to be spiritual and working your way through that struggle. And I'm watching another Black man try and pray, devoutly spiritual, and trying to find the right way, God's way to get through things, and he still can't do it. And it made me think about the amount of students that I've had that have come to me for strength and for guidance, and I don't feel strong enough to guide them. I think about the students that have come to me for answers, and I don't have them. I need support, and I don't know who I'm going to lean on because there's people leaning on me too. So I'm trying to lean back into them, hoping that we can manage and get through it together. I need people to understand that this stuff is not imaginary. It's not just reactionary to one or two incidents. This stuff is real. It's out there. You may not understand because you think you know someone that they're in a particular situation in life. Like I said, I know that I have some privilege, but because I have privilege, I'm still Black. And I'm still a Black man in this country. So no matter how much privilege I have, I still know that can be taken away from me in an instant. In an instant. And you might be looking at my name as a hashtag. And is it going to take that for you to understand that this stuff is real? I kind of went off on a tangent. I didn't really make any notes, man. I didn't really get organized. I just kind of wanted to speak freely and get some things off my chest. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to come back more organized. I've been motivated and inspired by some of my friends and my family, some people I don't even know in their Instagram feeds and their lives. The stuff that they've posted, I'm gonna get it together. I wanna open my platform in a more organized sense and share my thoughts out with you, hear some things from you, and hopefully that we can find ways to get through this in my fashion. I'm an educator, I said, and my way is to educate. I'm not gonna knock anybody who's out there on the streets. That's you, do you. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that's you. All right? My way is different than somebody else's way. Part of me is just too scared to be out there with you, even though I want to be quite frank. So for those that are out there, you're doing it for me too, because I'm too much of a punk to do it myself. So thank you for those that are out there who are doing that and physically getting people to pay attention to us. I'm going to try and use my platforms to try and reach people from a different angle. There's room for Malcolm and Martin. And even with those two people, it's not either or, it could be both and. Because Martin changed his position a few times, as did Malcolm. There's room for both of them. And even that, Malcolm deserves a damn holiday. Malcolm deserves a holiday. The things that he said resonate still not today. It's a shame that we don't respect him like we do Martin Luther King, and that comes with programming. Because MLK appeared to be the more peaceful of the two, he was the one that was pushed to the forefront. But if those that really know Martin know him, They also know that he respected the work of Malcolm X. And before he was assassinated, he started to harden his stance on a lot of things. He wasn't as soft as he was soft, quote unquote, as he was in the beginning. So I'm gonna end there. I don't want to ramble too much. Hopefully what I said made sense. I'm not even gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch this back. I'm just gonna post it. Let me know your thoughts and your feedback. I'll watch it tomorrow. I'll dissect, I'll analyze, regroup, and then we'll talk more. I'll set up something on Instagram Live. Hopefully get some of y'all to bring the classroom to the Instagram. All right? Be safe out there, everybody. I love y'all. I've been telling a lot of black men, I love you. I love you. Be safe. God bless.